Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Usman Ali and I'm recording the video for the exercise 9.5. So it's the solution of the exercise 9.5. 9.7. The exercise is based on one of the inventory valuation technique by the name of relative sales value method. So in a relative sales value method, actually what we try to do is that we try to develop a relationship between the cost and the selling price of that inventory or that product. Okay, so we will try to develop a percentage relationship, and if we know the percentage understanding between them, so we can solve it. So that's why, because of this percentage relationship of the cost with its selling value, that's why it is called relative sales value method actually. So let's go through a numerical question, and by the end of the question you would be able to know that what the relative sales value method is and how to solve the numericals of relative sales value method, or how to value the inventory based on the relative sales value method. So we have data on the Philip Collins Realty Corporation. It's a real estate organization. I know it because I read the numerical before recording it, that's why. So they have purchased a tract of land, and this land is an unimproved land worth $55,000. So this is the purchase price of the land, $55,000. And as it is unimproved, means it needs improvement. They need to do little bit more expenses on it so that the land goes into a shape which is a sellable shape. So the land was improved, and it was subdivided into a building lots at an additional cost of $34,460. So they purchased on $55,000, and then after that they incurred some more cost on it, so that the piece of building goes into such a shape which is a sellable shape, and they had a building map for that, and they decided to sell the lots inside the building. So the building lots were all of the same size. Their size are same with respect to square feet, but owing to the difference in the location, some of the building lots, their windows were on one side, and some of the building lots windows were not on other side. So because of their locations, obviously the cost of that lot will be different. Some of them would be premium priced, and some of them would not be premium priced. So that's one thing that we know about it. Other than that, operating expenses are also given, $18,000. What we are instructed to do is to calculate the net income for the company using the relative sales value method. And other than that, the information given to us is that we have three groups of lots: group 1, group 2, group 3. So these are kind of like categories. It's like you can say, and not in this connected to this example, but as you can say, like it's like 2-bedroom flat, 3-bedroom flat, something like that you can say, but size wise same. So we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. The number of quantity of group 1 lots are 9, the number of quantity of group 2 lots are 15, and the number of lots in group 3 are 17. That's the total available quantity. We fixed a selling price, or the company fixed a selling price, that the one lot in group number 1 each will be sold at $3,000, while in group 2 each lot will be sold at $4,000, and in group 3 each lot will be sold at $2,400. Then we started the operation, or the company started the operation, and the year ended also. At the end of the year, out of these 9 lots that were available for sale, 5 were unsold, remaining 4 are sold actually. Then out of these 15, 7 are still to be sold. Remaining 15 minus 7 is equal to 8 are sold. 17 out of these 17, 2 are remaining here, ending here. And 15 minus 2, 15 lots are sold from group number 3. So this is the information that's given to us. We are required to prepare the income statement. So for that income statement, we need to do a lot of things. We need to do a lot of calculations. First we will do that calculation, and then we will go back to the actual instructions of calculating the income statement. So what I have done is that I have shifted the first, second, and third column data, group 1, the group column, the number of lots column, and price per lot column, this data actually already to the table here, group 1, 2, 3, and we have the number of lots, and we have the unit prices, $3,000, $4,000, and $2,400. in order to make the life simple, that's why I just did it. Now let's go to the selling price of group. By selling price of the group means that what is the total selling value if this whole group is sold. Like, let's say, look at this, we had 9 lots in group number 1. If I sell all of these 9 lots at a price of $3,000 each, then what will be the total value that I will receive actually? So if I sell all of them, and if you do multiply that with calculators, so 3,000 multiplied by 9 is equal to $27,000. So we can say that $27,000 is actually the total selling price of only group number 1 only. Likewise, we will multiply the quantity of group 2, that's the total available lots we have, with the unit price of each that I'm planning to sell it on. So 15 multiplied by $4,000 will give me a total value of $60,000. So we can say that if I sell all the lots of present in the group number 2, I will receive $60,000 from the customer. In group 3 we got 17 lots, and if we sell all of these 17 lots at a value of $2,400 each, so we will receive, if you multiply that, we get $40,800. So we will receive $40,800 if all of the lots are sold here. So what if I sell everything? If I sell 9 lots of group 1, 15 lots of group 2, 17 lots of group 3, which means I receive 27,000 plus 60,000 plus 40,800. I receive all of them, then it means I will actually receive $1,27,800. That's the total revenue that I can generate actually if I sell every lot of this building. So that's my total revenue. Remember this, okay? Now what I will do, I will try to connect this revenue with the cost, and for that I'm gonna take help from a percentage technique. So let's look at this. Now $27,000 revenue out of $1,27,800 total revenue. So this $27,000 will be generated by selling all the lots of group number 1. If I want to know that what is this group number 1 is how much percent of the total revenue, the revenue generated from group number 1 is how much percentage of the total revenue. So that's very simple. What is the total revenue of only group 1? $27,000. That you can say like obtain marks divided by total marks. So we got like $27,000 is the revenue of group number 1 only, divided by what is the total revenue now. The total revenue of the whole project is $1,27,800. So if you divide this, you will get actually a percentage value. Let's do that very quickly, and let's do the division to get the percentage value. Then further I will elaborate what does this percentage mean actually. So we get, if after the division we will get a value of 0.21126, and there are other values as well. So I will round the value and it becomes 0.2113. So this is my value. If I multiply this value with 100, so as you know that it would become 21.13%. So what does it mean? It means that, ladies and gentlemen, that actually group number 1 is 21.13% of the total revenues of the company. Okay, so we got a relationship of group number 1 with the total revenues. The relationship is 21.13%. That's my relationship. Likewise, I will find the relationship for the second group also. But remember this thing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm using rounded values for 4 decimals. Okay, now for this next one, it's $60,000 divided by 1,27,800. If let's divide this, $60,000 divided by 1,27,800. So we get a rounded value of 0.4695, which becomes as 46.95%. Okay, so far so simple. Likewise, let's go for the last one. In the last one, our group-wise revenue is 40,800, means obtain marks in mathematics, divided by the total or the total marks, 1,27,800. So let's divide that. 40,800 divided by 1,27,800. So we got a percentage value of 0.3192, or if you try to convert that into percentage, it becomes 31.92%. So that's the overall contributions that we have. Group 1 is 21.13%, Group 2 is 46.95% of total revenues, and Group 3 is 31.92% of the total revenues. So we got percentage values. In order to make it a little more prominent, I will color it so that the role of this, I just want to emphasize on the role of this percentage. That's the whole purpose we are doing it. So that's actually the relationship that I'm developing, which I earlier also discussed, that we're going to develop a relationship here. So that's 21.13%, 46.95%, and 31.92%. Now, what I will do is that I will shift this relationship to the cost of the group as well. From this relationship, I will identify that, okay, what is the cost of it now? So for that, I need to know what is the total cost of the project. So look at this. 50,000 was the purchase price, and 34,460 was further invested into the project. So how much was the total investment? 55,000 plus 34,460. It means that the total cost of the project is 55 plus 34,460 makes it $84,460. That's the total cost of the project. Multiply by the percentage of group number 1. That's the percentage relationship. So I will go for the decimal values, 0.2113. Okay, so if you multiply that, you will get a value here. Let me do a little bit adjustment with the table. Let me increase the size of the table, and I will come back and I will do the remaining calculations. Okay, so I've done little bit adjustments in the table, so I have now more space to type. Okay, so 84,460 multiplied by 0.2113. So the rounded figure, ladies and gentlemen, kindly remember I'm using rounded figure. The rounded figure will be $18,900, which means that the total cost that I have incurred only in group number 1 is $18,900, while the total revenue that will be generated from selling group number 1 is $27,000. That's the cost of group 1, and this is the total cost of that's the selling price of group number 1. Let's proceed for the second one. So once again, our total cost remains same, $84,460. And group number 2, as it's contributing 46.95%, so I'm going to use that percentage relationship. So 84,460 multiplied by 46.95%, this will give me $42,000 cost. So that's the cost here that we have for group number 2. So group number 2 cost me $42,000, and I will sell it on $60,000. Then let's go for the third one, which is the last one also, 84,460 multiplied by 0.3192, which represents 31.92%. The rounded value for this is $28,560. So we can say that group 3 cost me $28,560, while I intend to sell it on $40,800. Now what should I do? What I will do is that I will calculate the unit cost from it. Unit cost simply will be calculated by dividing the cost that I have received, that's 18,900, that's the total cost, divided by the total number of units that I have. So how many units I have? I have 9 units for group 1, So if I divide it, my rounded value would be $2,100 or $2,100. This will be my per unit cost. So it's like, you can say, it's kind of a mountain. On one side I was rising, and then I stayed there for a while. It's like from this, you can say from this place I was rising, and then I stayed there and had a picnic at the top of the mountain, total sales percentage, and now I'm coming back to home. I'm actually climbing down and it's coming down. So it's like this thing. This total of cost was compared to the total of revenue. Now look at this thing, per unit cost and per unit revenue. So my plan was to sell one lot of group 1 on $3,000, and now it cost me $2,100 each lot. So that's the relationship, the total of the group with the total of the group here, and per unit with the per unit. So let's go for the other per units as well. My group cost is $42,000, and that's divided by 15, which is the number of lots that we have actually. So if we divide it, we will get a per unit cost as $2,800. So this is the per unit cost of group 2. And for my group 3, the total of the group cost is $28,560, divided by the total lots I have is 17. So we get $1,680 per lot of group 3. So now I know what is the unit cost of each of the lot. If I go back to the numerical here, no such information was given. That the lots which I have created, 1, 2, 3, I know the selling price, but I don't know each lot costed me how much. The only thing I knew was the total cost. So this question is very good to use when you are not aware of the cost. Like sometimes you purchase inventories in bulk, and you kind of like purchases the whole shipment, the whole container, the whole batch of product, and individual prices are not discussed with the seller that time. You just look into the whole of that package, and you just offer one selling price. It's just like, let's say I am a used furniture dealer, and I go to a home and I see the furniture there, and I just give them a whole package that, okay, this is the money I will give you for everything which you're trying to sell. Individually to every item I do not set a cost there. So what I know is on how much price I will sell and what's my total cost, but I don't know the individual cost of each. So that's how you find it, the individual cost of each. Now that you do know the individual cost of every lot, that's very crucial for our question. So it's very easy to go and proceed in the numerical now. Let's calculate the revenues. So this is the revenue table. We have group 1, group 2, group 3. How many lots are sold in group 1 and group 2 and group 3? So if you see here, this information is given to us as unsold information, 5, 7, and 2. So look at this. We were having 9 lots, and out of 9, 5 are unsold. So it means 9 minus 5 is equal to 4. 4 are those which are sold, 5 are not sold. So I will say, okay, for group number 1, it's 4 lots which are sold actually. Then we had 15 lots at the start of the year, and at the end of the year we got 7 lots only remaining in the second group. So 15 minus 7 is equal to 8. So 8 are sold. Then 17 minus 2 is equal to 15. So out of 17, 15 are sold and 2 are remaining. Now what is the unit cost of group 1, group 2 and group 3? In order to save time, I will just directly copy it from here and we will paste it here. So we got a $3,000 for group 1, $4,000 for group 2, and $2,400 for your group 3. Now what will be the selling price of the whole group that I have received actually? So 4 multiplied by $3,000, it will give me actually $12,000. So $12,000 is the money that I have actually received by selling the lots of group 1 only. So look at this. If I sell all of these lots, I will receive $27,000, but now that I have only sold 4 lots, so I have just received $12,000 from the customer. Remember this difference and relationship. Now, how many lots are sold? 8 lots are sold at a unit price of $4,000 each. So 8 into 4,000 will give me $32,000. So this is the amount of money that I have generated, revenue that I've generated by selling the lots in group number 2. In group number 3, I have sold 15 lots at a unit price of $2,400, which means that I created or generated a revenue of $36,000 by selling 15 of the lots of the second group. So if I plus this 12,000 plus 32,000 plus $36,000, it gives me a grand total of $80,000, which means that this is my revenue for the current year which is going on. So that's my total sales I have made, and this is my total revenue or total sales. This total sales figure is the starting point of the income statement. So I have already pre-prepared some templates, and this is the template for the income statement of the company. Now, what is the value of sales that we have just found? We just found $80,000 as the value of sales. So we got this. Now, what's our next objective? Our next objective should be to calculate the cost of goods sold. So this was the revenue table, which is done. Let's go to the cost table. Now, in the cost table, my objective would be to calculate CGS. Group 1, 2, 3 is already copied. How many lots are sold in group 1, group 2, and group 3? I will just copy it from here because we know how we calculated 4, 8, and 15, and I will just paste it here to save time. So these are the quantity of lots that are sold actually, and what is the unit cost of each 1, 2, and 3. So if you remember, we calculated unit cost 2,100 for group number 1. I will quickly shift it here, and for group number 2 we got a unit cost of 2,800, and for group number 3 we got a unit cost of 1,680. So I will just quickly shift it here, 2,800 for the second group and 1,680 for the third group. Now, in order to find the total of the group, so 4 multiplied by 2,100, we will multiply that, so we will get $8,400. Likewise, we will multiply 8 with 2,800, so we will actually get here 22,400. That's the total cost of it. And then 15 multiplied by 1,680 each, so we will get actually a unit cost, a total cost of $25,200. So these are actually the cost of goods sold on individual level, 8,400, and we got 22,400, and we got 25,200. I will just shift the comma this side. Yeah. If I plus all of these three values, then I will get a total of the cost of those goods or those lots which are just sold, and that's $56,000. If you plus it, you will get this value of $56,000. It means that you sold it on $80,000, the total of these, but it costed you $56,000 only, which I will shift it to the income statement, and I will write here $56,000. Okay, yeah. Now $56,000 is a cost figure, which means it's a negative figure that must be subtracted from the revenues. If you subtract it, we get a gross profit of $24,000, and from this gross profit we are supposed to subtract the expenses actually. So let's go back to the question and let's see how much expenses we had. The only expense that given to us is by the name of operating expense, 18,200. There is no tax percentage, no other non-operating expenses revenues are given. So it means the only group of expenses that we have is operating expense. The quantity is 18,200, and we are not left with any other tax or other information. So that's it. Whatever is the remainder would we actually call as our net income. Obviously that's not possible in the real life, but as it's the numerical, so whatever information is given, we're going to utilize it accordingly. So 24,000 minus 18,200 will give me a net income of $5,800. This is my net income, ladies and gentlemen. You must have a question in your mind that this table is empty and still our question is finished or solved. We have calculated the net income. Actually, this table is an extra contribution. I have made it here. I just had it extra here. I just want to explain the ending inventory thing here. By calculating the ending inventory, we will be actually able to identify that what is the ending inventory cost, and that will be shifted actually to the balance sheet. This goes to the income statement, as you saw. The revenues also goes to the income statement, but the total here goes to the current asset section of the balance sheet. So you know that we had 5 unsold plots, 7 unsold plots for group 2, and for group 3 we got 2 unsold plots or lots. From where I got this information, I got it from here. This is the column from where I got it actually. So, and you also know that what is the unit cost of each of this lot from here, and I actually calculated it here, then I shifted it to the cost table, and now I will just copy and paste it here to save time. So if I want to know the total of the groups, so I will multiply once again quantity 2,500 with the unit cost, which is 2,100. So I will get 10,500 as the group total. Likewise, I'm going to multiply 7 with 2,800. So I will get a group total of 19,600. And then I will multiply 2 with 1680. That's the unit cost of each in group 3. So we get a total of 3,360. Now this is the cost of those lots which are not sold, which are still present with us at the end of the year. So that's my ending inventory. If I plus all of them, ladies and gentlemen, I will get a total of $33,460 actually. So even you can cross verify the accuracy of this, that cost inventory or lots cost of $56,000 worth are sold and 33,460 are still remaining. If you plus both of them, it will exactly give you the total cost of the project, or the total cost of this bill. This land that you had, 55 plus 34, 460 is 84, 460, and this will also give you $84,460. So this is the relative sales value method, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember the red color is the crucial color here, that we actually try to develop a relationship in a form of a percentage between the group and with the total, and from the same percentage or from the same relationship, costs are assumed, and based on that we prepare the income statement. And that's how it works in the real life also. If you have purchased such an inventory which is in batch form, which is not on per unit basis, so you do know what is the total cost that you have paid for it, but you don't know what is the unit cost. So you can use the relative sales value method in that case. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe.